Warning, this video is about cannabis, a plant which is illegal in many jurisdictions around the world. If you are a minor or someone offended by drug references, this video is not meant for you.
Hello and welcome, stoners. Before I start the video, I have a few brief things I want to mention. First, this video will mainly focus on direct depictions of cannabis in video games, with a few notable references to cannabis added as honorable mentions. Second, I have not played most of these games, so my information is relying on internet research alone. So sorry if I get anything wrong or if I miss something. Google proved not to be too helpful because when I searched weed in video games, I got amazing results such as all I do is smoke weed and play video games Reddit, and do gamers smoke weed? Without any further ado, let's start the video. Our first game comes from the mid-'80s.
Leading medical researchers are coming to the conclusion that marijuana, pot, grass, whatever you want to call it, is probably the most dangerous drug in the United States, and we haven't begun to find out all of the ill effects, but they are permanent ill effects.
US President Richard Nixon's war on drugs was still in full effect, and cannabis was not spared. Use or distribution of weed would land you a hefty jail sentence, but the war on drugs didn't stop many who just wanted to get high. Our first game has a fitting title. Drug Wars is a text-based PC game released in 1984. In it, you play a drug dealer in the New York City area. The point of the game is to make profit selling drugs across New York's various boroughs. You're trying to buy low and sell high, all while avoiding police. If you do have a run-in with law enforcement, there's a turn-based fighting system, where winning is determined by how many guns you've purchased and how many cops are after you. By the end of the game, the goal is to have enough profit to pay off your loan shark, and you get a rating based off how much money is left over for you. Our next game comes from the opposite perspective. NARC is a run-and-gun arcade game released in 1988. In NARC, you play as narcotics officers Max Force and Hit Man, which are amazing names, by the way. Your goal is to arrest or kill junkies, drug dealers, and the Kingpin, Mr. Big. One level has you bust a grow op, destroying all the plants and taking out all the criminals inside. Many concerned parents were not too fond of this game, being one of the first to feature blood, not to mention the senseless killing of drug users. The next game is slightly more tame. XZR 1 and 2 are action RPGs released in 1988. In these games, you play as a man named Saddler. Saddler can purchase marijuana and hashish from various apothecaries across the map. Different drugs have different effects on Saddler, including increasing health and attributes. If you use a drug too much, you can even become addicted or overdose and die. The plotline of these games is crazy to think about from today's perspective. In the first game, Saddler's goal is to kill the leader of the Islamic Caliphate, and you eventually get teleported to the modern day where you have to kill the Russian General Secretary and the American President. The second game sees Saddler as a crusader for Christianity, taking on a Japanese cult and a bunch of Freemasonry figures. Our next game is 1989's Rockstar, another text-based PC game where you play as a member of a rock and roll band, releasing albums and singles, going on tour, and doing drugs. Some of the interactions in this game are pretty funny, like your guitarist offering you weed and then calling you annoying for refusing it.
Your mother recommends that you take some cocaine. Do you accept?
The next game may seem familiar. Druglord is another text-based PC game where you play as a drug dealer, released in 1991. This time with multiple colors of text on screen, some light sound effects, and a renaming of weed to grass. You can also change cities where you deal. Not much else to say about this one. The next game may also seem familiar. Exile Wicked Phenomenon is the final game in the XZR Exile series. This game features a much more toned-down storyline from a religious perspective, and a renaming of all the drugs, and a reclass from drugs to tonics, although peyote doesn't seem to be censored. Marijuana has been renamed to cannabis, and hashish has turned to harish. The negative side effects of taking too much of one drug have also been removed. Saddler no longer strives to defeat world leaders and instead wishes to defeat chaos itself. The next game might be the weirdest one on the list. Wrecked, a Psychedelic Adventure is a 1993 platformer game which I don't think ever saw an official release. In this game, you have an arsenal of different drugs that you can learn about and take. Laying across the map are different drugs that you can stash or take on the spot. Each drug has its own interesting effects. You can even mix different drugs and get quite fucked up. At the end of the game, you get a screen listing off the different drugs you took and their value. You even get a screen warning you about the illegality of it all. Our next game is not even really a game. Crime Scouts is a 1996 educational game warning children about the dangers of different criminal activities.
One out of how many children who die before the age of 21 dies from gunshot wounds? 5, 8, 16, 10.
On average, how many children and teenagers die each day in gun homicide? 6, 12, 20.
20.
How often does an American teenager between the ages of 10 and 19 commit suicide with a handgun?
In this game, you can learn about the effects of various different drugs.
Marijuana?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Time for my favorite.
Heroin.
It's all pretty unsettling.
Now, would you do that to yourself?
But big news for stoners was just around the corner.
In 1993, 94, and 95, the state legislature, by bipartisan majorities, both Republicans and Democrats in favor, passed issues to memorialize the Congress that marijuana ought to be available for medical use and it ought to be rescheduled, taken out of Schedule 1 so that it could be used medically.
But for many, the war on drugs was still ongoing. Dope Wars is yet another drug dealer simulator, released in 1998. This time around including international locations, such as Montreal in Canada, my home country. Our next game saw a major shift in the narrative. Ganja Farmer is a 1998 game with one objective: protect your herb from the man. This game sees you as a humble ganja farmer, protecting your herb from helicopters and paratroopers, with a machine gun mounted on top of your Volkswagen van. The soundtrack to this game is special.
Don't take my ganja. Fiddle-ling mon, I'll be one piece brother. Fiddle-ling mon, ja will I got ya.
Although the player is still killing law enforcement, you are seen as the good guy, with Jesus coming to tell you to continue the fight. Later in 2001, Canada would take notes from California.
In the year 2000, a ruling from Ontario's top court opened the door to legal marijuana for medical purposes.
Glad to see the court recognizes marijuana for a medical application.
And in 2001, Canada became the first country to introduce a formal system to regulate medicinal marijuana.
2001 also saw our first honorable mention, Conkers Bad Fur Day.
Hello? Money? Who the hell are you?
Riddled with controversy from the day it was released, Conkers Bad Fur Day includes a potential reference I felt I had to include.
Hey, this is a neat joint. That's great. Give me some of that. You bastard. Give me another tab.
This is also the first Nintendo game to make the list, and not the last. The next game is a 2-for-1. Gothic is an action RPG released in 2001.
Here, Master, a modest present from your student.
Gothic 1 and 2 feature smokable swamp weed.
Okay. Oh shit.
Some of the dialogue around it is pretty funny.
Galaron sent me. I'm to collect all the swamp weed.
Good, then I don't need to go myself. Here, take it. Don't forget to go to Viren on the other side of the swamp, if you haven't been there yet. Otherwise, your load might be a bit small, and people might think you'd sold the other half of it.
Who could I sell the weeds to anyway?
Uh-oh. Now I've been putting ideas in your head, haven't I?
If you know somebody, we could go halves.
Well, I'd know somebody in the new camp. He'd be interested in weed. But if the gurus catch you at it, they'll feed you to the swamp sharks. I don't know anything, okay?
I've come to collect my daily ration.
Here, take it. 3 of the Northern Dark. But don't smoke them all at once.
I believe in Gothic 1, smoking swamp weed only gave you XP, but in Gothic 2, it slows the whole world down.
The dragons are dead. I knew that Innos would give you the strength to defeat the dragons. Where is the ore?
The orcs are still besieging the castle in the Valley of Mines.
Our next game is more of a simulator. Highgrow is a cannabis growing simulator for the PC, released in 2002. You can modify almost every single growing variable to maximize your potential yield. This game delves into a crazy amount of detail revolving around growing cannabis indoors. While looking for this game on YouTube, I stumbled across this video, which was too weird not to share.
Highrow's sticky, fat, dank nugs. I can hook up right to this pump.
This is an hour-long video called iGrow Chronic.
And I'll secure both ends with the zip tie.
This green man tells you everything you need to know about growing cannabis indoors. Our next game is probably the most controversial yet.
Hi, doggy. The dog's no match for the taser. This is disgusting. This is just appalling. You don't go there. You go there. Oh my, who runs this? This is a poor establishment.
That's the ticket.
This is a disgusting, just horrible. Yeah. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Games do not make you violent.
Postal 2 is the infamous 2003 shooter set in the town of Paradise. If you want to find weed in this game, you need to go to the back of the nondescript warehouse, where it is under police lockup. If you burn the plants and inhale the smoke, you will increase your maximum HP. Our next game needs no introduction.
Okay, my cousin Mary's in there. Sweet, sticky, bud fresh off the plantation. Here, pull up here, let me do the talking.
Man, I should've known.
Hey, excuse me, Jose. Yo soy el grande smokio, and I want that grass, comprende?
Hey, fuck you, cabron. What?
Now that ain't nice. Coffee-o up El Guido before I blow your brains out all over the patio.
Marijuana, I love it, my brother. I love it, marijuana.
Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is the beloved 2004 installment of the GTA series, set in a fictional version of the California area.
Check this shit out. What do we have here?
Yo, Carl. What up, kid?
Hey, what's happening? Oh, is this undercover training? Oh, no, you must be off duty.
Yeah, whatever. Hush up, man.
Dudes, you want mushrooms? You lose? How about some DMT?
No, not for me, man. I got a jet. Whew, shit. I'm fucked up. Yo, Carl, pay the man.
Whoa, man. I never thought I'd see that. A Fed out smoking me. What?
There's a mission in the game where you have to burn crops to hide from the police.
What the fuck's that noise?
Hey, that sound like a chopper.
Oh, man. NARCs, you fucking rat.
Dude, don't put that on me. You the one deal with Tenpenny. What's all this?
Calm, brother. Panic paves the way to bad karma.
Man.
We gotta torch those fields.
Hello? This weed tip? I seen something highly suspicious you should come check out.
There's another mission where you have to frame someone by planting weed in the back of their car.
Police, don't move! Get out of the car with your hands in the air! Do you know who you're fucking with here? I'll have your badge, you moron! Shut up! You find anything back there?
Found anything? He's got half of Mexico in here. Must be 2 tons of Mary here.
What? But I've never seen. How could it be? Hell of a defense you got there, buddy!
The next game is another honorable mention.
Ah, right here. Bet a lot of you guys are gonna like what this treasure's. Look at that! Look at that! In this nice, relaxing, peaceful floor. Look what that is.
2004's Pikmin 2 features a collectible treasure that looks oddly like a weed leaf. In the Japanese version, the description of the treasure says it has a strong sleep-inducing effect, and its name is translated to one-hit death. The next game is another honorable mention. Released in 2005, 50 Cent Bulletproof has 50's apartment decorated with a bong.
Opium, huh?
Now, there's a drug you don't hear about very often.
I know. You don't see that every day. Thing is, I did just hear about it, though. Apparently some wise guy was arrested in Little Italy carrying a few grams.
Our next game is a reimagining of a classic.
Hi, I'm Wayne Klein, and I'm producing Midway's game NARC. Today we're talking about the drug pot. The least addictive drug is pot. The effect that pot has on the short term is it basically slows the world down, and it starts tilting the camera slowly. And so the player kind of gets this wobbly feeling when they're playing on pot. It's not quite so addictive. It takes about 10 to 15 uses to become addicted to pot, but every drug in the game is addictive.
2005's NARC is a reimagining of the classic arcade game, but this time you play as an undercover agent, where you can confiscate and use all the drugs you want.
Shit, mother... Police! Freeze! kill you! Stay the fuck down.
Police brutality seems to be a main theme in these games. Some of the harder drugs in the game have some pretty weird effects. The next game is another 2-in-1. Saints Row is an action-adventure game released in 2006. In the game, you can smoke weed by various different methods: spliffs, blunts, pipes, and bongs. Smoking it will make your screen go all hazy and give you damage resistance. I also read online that you could hotbox a car, but I couldn't find any video of that. Weed and liquor is available for purchase in a store called Brown Baggers.
Ever see shit that dag?
All the videos I could find on YouTube were from 16 years ago and super low quality, and it's kind of got a charm to it. I don't think anything cannabis related changed between Saints Row 1 and Saints Row 2. Maybe you can hotbox a car in Saints Row 2, but this guy's driving a convertible, so I don't know. Apparently smoking and driving is grounds for lethal force. Our next game takes us to Liberty City.
The package is delivered, Jacob. Alright, there be the spot up there. Watch out for any badness. Sure.
Grand Theft Auto 4, released in 2008, introduces us to Little Jacob and the Yardies. The Yardies are the Jamaican gang in Liberty City. Throughout the story of GTA 4, Jacob and the main character Nico have a close friendship.
Jacob? Okay, I said, but you know, not great, you know? Why not? The herb is gonna kill me up here. What? The herb is bad for the head. The stuff here. Really? The hydroponic and the artificial and the man with the chemicals and produce with our chemicals coming with pesticide is wrong. Man is wrong. Well, stop smoking it. I try.
Jacob is often seen smoking weed and has some weird interactions with cars while doing so. The Yardies are led by a man named Badman.
Anyway, some boy ramp with Badman, you know, and want to ask you a favor. Go on now. Hey, my youth, some boy them dip on the corner and thing, and the boy them sell some things and thing, and I go on and I say, oh, them don't want to give me my money and thing, and every corner my corner, and I want my money and thing, you know. I know sweat I go, you know, I want to deal with the case proper, you know, see.
Jacob often plays patois translator for Nico. Other than Nico's dealings with the Yardies, there's also weed references in this stand-up show.
Crazy Liberty City, anything goes, everything's crazy. Weed is illegal. Ain't that a motherfucker? They should have put that in the motherfucking brochure. Feel free to come to Liberty City, but weed is illegal. Kind of cockamamie shit is this? Weed is illegal. How the fuck can you make a plant illegal? Weed is just a plant. It's just a plant. It just grows like that. And if you should happen to set it on fire, there are some effects. That's not the same as drugs. Drugs, you gotta do shit to it chemically. You gotta add baking soda, water, stir it up. I don't know the recipe. I'm just saying there's some shit you gotta do to it.
The next honorable mention is debatable. In 2009's Afro Samurai, the main character Afro is often seen smoking something.
You have to come through us. More talk.
Whatever he is smoking is clearly hand-rolled.
Convince themselves of their convictions, trying to convince themselves they're right.
This character is clearly smoking a regular cigarette. Since I don't believe it's ever explicitly stated to be a joint, I'll call it an honorable mention.
Did I wake you, motherfucker?
Our next game takes us back to Liberty City. In 2009's Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, the main character, Huang, can deal drugs. The Yardies make a return, and they have the best prices for buying weed. Weed is considered a low-value drug, with low potential profits. Judging by this screenshot, you can also burn down some of the Yardies' plants. And if you deal enough depressants in the game, you can earn this jeweled bong. Our next game brings back good memories.
Shut your mouth! What the hell are you talking about? Because I told you to suck my dick when I got...
In 2009's Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 3 weed-related calling cards are available. Joint Ops, High Command, and Blunt Trauma. Some players weren't happy with this.
I'm offended. No. I'm disgusted. Call of Duty, I thought was better than this. If any of you have seen these call signs, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It shows a grove of marijuana and is surrounded by the names Joint Ops and Blunt Trauma. Joey made my crusade to restore infinity words now tarnished. Trashy reputation.
Later, in Modern Warfare 3, there is a weed emblem you can unlock by completing the Dominoes challenge. And by Call of Duty Ghosts, you could just straight up buy weed skins. Our next game takes us back to organized crime.
Bunch of moolies who immediately tried to kill me right after you left.
Probably the bombers. Hunter's their neighborhood. Guys like that, you don't have to worry about them. They just hang out on the street, talk shit, steal shit, and smoke dope.
Released in 2010, Mafia 2 features a gang called the Bombers, which are often seen smoking weed.
Shit! It's smoke! Oh, fuck!
Hey, what the fuck are you doing over there?
Ah, shit.
Our main characters don't seem to have the best relationship with the Bombers. Our next game comes from an unlikely place. Pot Farm originally released on Facebook in 2010. It's a Farmville-style game where you grow and sell weed. It was eventually taken off of Facebook and only available as a mobile game.
Hello, pot farmers. Welcome back. This is my original farm. I am Paul Pot Farmer. This is my original farm of like 2 or 3 years. 3 years. 2 years. Over 2 years.
Our next game takes us back to LA. 2011's LA Noire features a case where you take down a primo reefer distribution ring.
You know a Freddie Calhoun?
Sure, I know
Freddie needs money to get out of town. Says he's prepared to blow the whistle on a primo reefer distribution ring.
Tell us about the reefer, Freddie. Another good Samaritan. Answer the question.
Wes comes from Tijuana. They bring in 50 pounds a week.
50 pounds? Are you hallucinating, Freddie?
It's stashed at a house at 1452 North Las Palmas.
After investigating the tip-off, you find out that a canning company is behind the whole operation.
Now we're getting somewhere. Who in the hell keeps a secret stash of soup? You hungry or something, Phelps? LAPD, nobody move!
I'll take my chances.
Whatever you're carrying, hand it over. I'd say he's got about half a can left. I guess that makes me a pessimist.
You can't take me in.
Take you in? Be glad he didn't shoot you.
The detectives eventually find the stash and take it down.
God damn. I think we found our stash, Cole. Take a look in these boxes. At the very minimum, another 50 pounds.
Our next game's dealings with weed is pretty iconic. 2012's Far Cry 3 has the main character, Jason Brody, tasked with burning down some crops. This instance of weed in video games is pretty famous. The Skrillex song playing in the background definitely makes a memorable experience. There's even some visual effects as Jason burns down the fields. But outside of video games, something big was just around the corner.
Developing election story right now, Amendment 64, the statewide ballot measure to legalize marijuana in Colorado, approved by voters tonight. Despite a long list of Colorado politicians against this measure, numbers still coming in. But as you can see right there, a resounding yes, 53% to 47%.
It's a really big day in Washington State tomorrow for some people because any adult there is going to be able to smoke marijuana legally tomorrow. Just a little bit, though, like an ounce, which to some people is not a little bit. But you don't need a reason. You don't need glaucoma or trouble sleeping. No medical reason at all.
I have nothing really insightful to say about the next game. In 2012's Family Guy Back to the Multiverse, you can find weed plants in the Something Amish level.
Well, I guess the Amish like to party, huh? No, I'm totally down with that, man. I'm not like a square or anything.
If you burn down every last plant, you get the Scorched Earth achievement. In 2013, Uruguay would make history.
This has become a familiar sight in the Uruguayan capital, Montevideo. Smoking marijuana, even in public spaces, has been legal for the last 4 decades, but buying drugs was not. Now the country has gone several steps further. A new law passed by Congress will put the market of cannabis in the hands of the state. It will regulate every single step of the production, distribution and sale of marijuana. Under the new law, people will be able to buy up to 40 grams a month. It will only be sold in pharmacies and only to residents. Uruguay has one of the lowest crime rates in Latin America. But drug-related violence is growing, and the government says it's time to attack the profits of the drug cartels before they become too powerful.
Our last game would mark the beginning of the end for cannabis prohibition. In 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 released, and it pushed boundaries for weed in video games.
Can I talk to you for a second? The fuck are you talking about? I am talking about a hotline straight to heaven that this state makes illegal. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
I don't give a fuck about reefer.
No, they rigged the vote. I saw the ballots. It's a lie.
It's democracy at work, amigo.
Democracy can suck my fatty. You want to drag?
Nah, I'm not a drug guy.
This isn't bushweed. This is mana. I grew up myself. No paranoia, no weirdness. A passport to nirvana. It's a pure, mellow high. But I do get concerned about the monsters. Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure they're nothing serious, but I never let them get too near. Oh, the fuck!
Oh, shit! What is going on? Oh, what the hell are they?
And after that, you see, the liquor companies push for continued prohibition, which is complete insanity. So I take it I can count on your support.
The fuck just happened?
What are you talking about? We discussed globalization, the state.
Stay the fuck away from me.
What? But it's a good cause.
Franklin can also encounter the same guy lobbying against prohibition, but he's not as impressed with the weed.
So I take it I can count on your attendance, friend.
Huh?
At the smoke-in.
We're what?
Yeah, we're gonna bring down the government by smoking weed together in a public place. It's very effective. I'm prepared to be a martyr, friend. Are you?
Shit, if being a martyr means to smoke good weed, for sure.
You know, cerebral stuff that's gonna get the people up off their feet protesting.
Man, I don't know. It sounds kind of bullshit to me.
We're gonna crush them with our resolve. Here. Have a little taste of that. Just a mellow, sophisticated high.
Man, it seems a little dry.
Can't you see the aliens?
Man, what else are you taking? Man, this shit is garbage.
The characters of the main story can also smoke in their own homes. Smoke enough, and you can even get a glimpse at their inner dialogue.
Nobody fucks with me. Because nobody likes me.
Michael can smoke his son's bong in his bedroom.
I really should smoke more of that stuff. Makes me realize what a great guy I can be. If only I didn't lie, cheat so much. If only I wasn't such an asshole to everyone. Fucking nuts, this is not fun. This is no fun. This not fun. What is fun anyway? I'm all alone in hell. Hell is no other people. Hell is me. That's right, me. I belong in hell. I belong in hell! And I never knew I hated myself that much. Why did I do that? Why?
Franklin can purchase a weed store by the beach sidewalk called Smoke on the Water. You can even rip bong in your friend's apartment in GTA Online. Got a good buzz on. With legalization and virtual bong rips with your friends, I think this is a good place to leave the list. Thanks for watching.